welcome to part 4 of Time Capsule Education's online fantasy story writing project. If you are doing this in order, then last time in part 3 we wrote an episode about going into the marsh, finding the priestess Eostra, who gives your characters clues and tells them what they need to do next. Where we left it, or where you should have left it, is the characters should have been told that they have to travel to the city of London to go and find another shrine, another sacred grove. So we're going to move straight on then. Our characters now have to travel to London. We're not going to do the whole journey because it will take several days, but we're going to write one episode from it. Characters in your story are really important. Obviously we have to worry about your main characters, the characters you're writing about, the heroes and heroines. But the other characters that we meet along the way have got to be interesting too. They can't just be cardboard cutouts. They don't all need to be black and white either. It's not just a case of good guys and bad guys. We need some characters who we're not too sure about and we can change our minds about along the way. A good writer introduces different characters through a story. Some of them are minor characters and don't play a great big part. Others have a part to play, but not all at the same time. So we're going to introduce some characters in this episode and then we might come back to them later in the story. After meeting the priestess Eostra and being told what they need to do next, the characters must leave the village of Benfliot. They make their way up the hills nearby, through a forest towards the Lundon Road. We catch up with them after they've travelled for a day or so and they're settling down to camp in the forest at night. Your characters make a camp in the wood. Light a fire to keep warm and safe. They sit and stare into the flames. Chat quietly to each other. Begin to doze off. And then as they're dozing off, they think they can hear laughter from somewhere else out in the forest. Looking into the trees, they can see another light, another fire not too far away. Maybe they should go and investigate. Dangerous creeping through the forest at night, mind you. Maybe they should go and see what they can see. As they go up into the forest, they find a dell in the forest, a hollow. And down in the dell, there's a camp. 2 Vardos caravans and a tent, and a group of animals enjoying themselves, laughing, singing. They might be friendly, they might be dangerous. Sitting amongst the trees nearby is another creature watching them. It could be a squirrel. Doesn't look like he's part of that group. Late in the afternoon the following day, when you've been travelling on the road for some time, you decide to take a rest. You get off the road and sit amongst the trees, and after a while, having had a drink and something to eat, you hear the squeaking of cartwheels and you see coming up the road the caravan of the players, led by a magpie. 2 wagons, one pulled by a fox, one pulled by a rat. There are a couple of hedgehogs with them too. The side of the wagon clearly says Dr. Scallion's Travelling Show. These must be the travellers you saw camped in the forest last night. And then You can see the wagons come around the corner one after the other. To your horror, across the road amongst the trees, you also see a band of brigands. Weasels mostly. A squirrel with a bow. A huge tabby cat with a great big sword. Looks like they're going to attack the caravan. What are you going to do? Are you going to help the players? Stand and watch? Run away into the forest. The brigands loose arrows and crossbow bolts, and others come charging down through the trees. The players look to defend themselves. They've got weapons, but they really don't look much of a match for a bunch of hardened outlaws. You really ought to go and help. With your help, you successfully chase off the brigands. The players and their caravans are safe. This episode then includes some of the characters, some of the heroes that you could have chosen for your story. It's going to introduce this magpie, Dr. Scallion, a dubious playwright and seller of medicines. Whether they work or not, I don't know. And his group of travelling players. And then also this as yet unnamed baddie, this brigand, a big angry looking tabby cat and his gang of ruffians on the road. Now, don't forget, all of these characters can be found as downloads on the Time Capsule website, which is detailed for you at the end of the video. This episode then provides us with opportunities for different kinds of writing. We get to write about the settings, mostly in the forest and the road, at daytime and nighttime. That means we can add some suspense to that, creeping around in the forest at night. We get to add more suspense or mystery as we introduce the characters who are camping in the dell. Are they good guys? Are they bad guys? Can we trust them? Do they look shifty or not? We then get to reveal a little bit about them as they are attacked by the brigands. You get to have a go at doing some action writing. Not a huge piece of action. We don't need lots of deaths at this point in the story. Just a rumble on a road with the odd bruised and battered character. If you want a good example of a fight scene, find the video of me reading Anglo-Saxon Boy chapter 7. There's a good fight in that. We also then get to have some dialogue in this. Your characters can talk to each other throughout, maybe thinking about who they're looking at when they find the travellers in their camp. But also Dr. Scallion gets to introduce himself and his group of travelling players to your characters, and we start to get some dialogue opportunities there too. So there's a lot to be getting on with. So if you get all that done, I'll see you on the next episode when the characters get to the city.